Hello, Wanderers.
Welcome to the first live we've done in, gosh, almost 2 months.
The last time we did a live, little Dash was like 2 weeks old,
barely.
And look at him now, right? He's all grown up. Not really, but
at least it kind of feels that way.
At least in the last, his eyes are open this time, as you can see. So he's so much more alert than our last live stream.
And we just figured out, so this is going to be really interesting because now that he is more awake, we were feeling a little nervous about this live stream this evening because he seemed kind of cranky, and he's usually like the most chill baby on the entire planet. But one of the things that we have learned lately is that he does not like to just be held and not be able to see anything. Like if you hold him to your chest, like he gets frustrated because he wants to see everything. So now that we
look at this. Look how happy he is right here, right? Like when you put him to your chest, he's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" And then you turn him around, and he's like glowing, so happy right now.
So he is super excited to hang out with us and you tonight as we do this live. But we've had a bunch of exciting channel growth since the last time that we all hung out.
I know. I think the last time we did a live 2 months ago, we were sitting at around 12 or 13,000 subscribers. And we thought we were coming on here today to celebrate 15,000. And then right before we came on, at some point, I don't know, today or yesterday, it hit 16,000.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool.
It is really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. Yeah. Eric asks, how long are you guys planning on being live tonight? Our goal is an hour, but our schedule is very contingent on little man here. I have fed him like 100,000 times with fingers crossed that he won't get hungry, but obviously his appetite dictates a lot of our schedule right now.
He looks like a happy camper now, but if you have kids or if you have grandkids, then they can turn on you like on a dime, right? And go from like
super happy
to super loco, like that.
Daniel calls it the switch.
The switch, yeah. Once that switch is flipped, that is it. Is game over. Before we get started, let us know where you're chiming in from. What city or state, and your names. We'd love to kick it off with that.
Hanging out with y'all.
Exactly. So welcome, Kyle. Welcome, Journey 1111. Eric, what's up, Eric? Aaron, you've requested this on the last 3 or 4 lives we've had. Bam. Right there for you, buddy. There you go, Aaron. There's
Finally
the beer.
Having a beer.
This is from Hoppy Notes from Funky Bo right here in Maine, which is where we are this week. We're at an Airstream Rally, and there are close to 2,000 shiny aluminum heinies.
No, 1,000 aluminum shiny heinies and 2,000 handful of people.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like aluminum behind us right now. Can't see it all, but there's just rows and rows of aluminum right now.
But we have never been to Maine before. And while we were driving on the way up here, which was a adventure in and of itself, which of course we're recording and are going to get to see in the very near future, we heard so many people just raving about how beautiful it is up here. And it really is. We've only gotten to see like a teeny tiny little bit of it so far, but oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
It really, really is. Welcome, Cassidy and Glam Doctors. Welcome.
Oh, hi, guys.
Welcome. Christina, welcome. It's always good to see you. Jessica Sullivan joining us from the Chicago Burbs. Let's see here. Aaron says, wait until he turns 2. I mean, the saying is terrible twos, right? So we're not quite there yet. So if you have experience with terrible twos, let me know. We're
currently at 2 months. And he is so much fun. I mean, we tease about him going crazy if he's hungry, but like he is really the most chill, like content baby. And he's so much fun. We were talking to some new parents here at the Airstream Rally earlier today, and they're like, everything in life is more fun with the baby. And we're like, we know. We don't really know how to define that that's the truth, but it totally is. It's great.
They're just enamored with everything because they're seeing so many things for the first time. And maybe they're just things we take for granted, but I mean, literally, like they'll just stare at a random spot in the ceiling and that's just flickering with lights.
It's amazing.
I know. It's the most amazing thing ever. And you just have to think to yourself, that's just pure joy.
Yep.
Absolutely. Right?
Absolutely. Oh, what? We have someone ringing our doorbell. Well, Daniel, you might want to check in and see who that is.
Hold on here.
Oh, look, we have a yeah, you
Oh, yeah.
totally
No,
walked
come on
into
in
this.
here, buddy.
This
Come
was
here. Come here, Phil.
actually not
Come here, Phil.
planned, but this is
Come on.
going to be very
This is
fun.
not planned.
Because one of our superstars is actually here, and he has no idea that he just walked into this.
Have a seat,
But-
Phil.
Whoops.
Phil the tour guy.
We told you we're at an Airstream rally, so if you've seen a few videos, you've seen our modification videos. If you saw the video where we're at the last year's rally and we had that crazy thing happening with the lock, and we got locked out. This guy
saved
fixed
our
it
butts.
right here. He didn't know he was going to be on this live stream tonight, so
I just come down to say hi.
that's what happens around here.
Yeah, you get sucked into live streams
never
if you
know.
ring our doorbell. You don't know what to do.
Funny, funny.
We just wing it. That's how we do it here.
Well, so how many of you guys have seen the video that we did with our recent Airstream modifications? Because Phil, you helped us with our cool new stool or a foot. What do you call that thing?
Set brace.
The
step brace,
Ah,
which is
yes.
awesome. And one of the things about the rally is that we are on limited water. So we don't have sewer here. And that means we are working on making sure we have, or at least I take a lot of Navy showers. And Phil also added this cool little Meduji. That's my like technical
All right.
word for
That's good.
it. To our shower, which makes it easier for me to take like a shower with less water, which has been awesome. I took a shower that only took up like 4% of our tank yesterday. Thanks to
100%.
that thing, which was so cool.
Yeah, Mike Madden is chiming in here saying, "How did you get this superstar to join?" Look at that.
I know.
Well, thank you for the compliment. It was a total accident. I just come down to say hi, and
This
he
is
said,
what
"Get on in here." You know, so here I am. I mean,
So now you know, be wary of ringing our doorbell.
For
when
sure.
You come
Yeah.
hang out with
Wow.
us, because
I
you
don't know
never
if Phil
what
is
you're
ever
gonna
going to swing
suck
by and ring the
into.
doorbell ever again after this. I
probably
hope
not.
not.
Yeah, I'll at least be looking in the window first. You know.
Well, Phil, you've been busy at the Airstream Rally. Tell us about what you've been working on, new tips and tricks.
We had
Yeah.
we had 30 some odd jobs before we ever pulled through the gate.
Nice.
So that's been really good. We've had a couple emergencies that we've helped some people with. Air conditioners out, clogged
Wow.
drain lines. That's been a big thing here. I know of about 4 drain lines that's been clogged up.
It's been hot.
It is. It's like 94. I mean, and we're in Maine. Okay, so I
Right.
don't know what, but no, it's the rally has absolutely been a blast. You know, I'm so glad you guys have finally showed up, with Mr. Dash there. So.
Dash is enamored with you right now. Look at that.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah,
Hi, Phil.
yeah.
So one thing that is we can't wait to show y'all in like a Facebook or an Instagram post very, very soon. If y'all don't follow us on there, you can find us there at Wander Local as well. But Phil and his wife Rochelle made Dash
A
the
onesie.
cutest onesie that you have ever seen.
That's funny, right? You're gonna want to see this
And
one.
it's
It is.
hilarious. So stay tuned. If you don't follow us on Facebook or Instagram yet, you need to jump over there and check that out, because that photo with the one and only Phil and baby Dash is coming soon.
And Aaron, you're saying it's 108 in Dallas today. That is hot.
Whoa.
And his middle name is not Dior. It is it's Dash Dot. I'm just joking. It's Dash Wilder. Wilder's his middle name. Yeah. That,
We have heard
Dash
though that if our
Dior.
second child is a girl, that obviously her name needs to be Dot. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be pretty funny. What do you think?
Malia said sounds like she was just looking for you. She was wondering if you were watching the live. Little did she know when she was chiming in, you were actually going to be on it.
No, we just had a little incident with her as well. So.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh man, Glam Doctors is saying it's 55. Where are you chiming in from at
Oh, we're
55? Because
jealous
we need to
of
drive
that.
there like right after this.
Sure.
Yeah, Mike's saying you were pretty busy. The rally 3, the Region 3 rally
Mhm.
in Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, when you can fix any Airstream problem like on the planet, you're going to stay pretty busy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I would like to say, and then I'm going to step out of the frame here, for all the people that has supported us and supported Wander Local, it's been an absolute blessing, and I really cannot tell you how much we appreciate it. I see people here that I have no idea who they are, and it's a door guy, you know. So
Yeah.
it means the world to us. These people here are so great. They're great friends. They're great people, and I'm actually honored just to be in their
Oh.
presence.
Oh,
So,
Phil.
yes, absolutely. I thank you guys for that.
It's
So,
mutual.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is
mutual.
mutual.
Yeah. And as this guy gets bigger, well, he's going to be just as important, you know. So
Yeah.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to teach him all of the Airstream
Oh,
tricks.
absolutely.
Because
Well,
you
he's
know
up-
Daniel won't be able to.
Yeah.
You never know. Daniel's pretty good. He's on his game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just know that when you guys see businesses that we support, just know they're always good people. I mean, they're well vetted, and we believe in them, and we believe in everything they're doing. And yeah, it brings us as much joy as it's a reciprocal thing. So that's what this is all about. Yeah.
Yep. Dash
Guys,
wants
I'm
you
going
to
to
know.
slide out of here and
Okay,
let you all
fair.
finish your live stream.
Thank you.
Thank you for this surprise visit, because it truly was a surprise this time. Last time, maybe not
Maybe
so
not
much.
so
you know.
much.
So, guys, have a good one.
We'll see.
Thank
Are
you.
Are you
Bye.
going to the party?
Party?
The 60s or the 70s dance party?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well,
Oh,
then we'll see you later this
I'll
week.
be at Charlesville.
Okay.
Pam, you're
deal.
chiming in from Nebraska, and Jamie, isn't Dash so cute? Look at this little man. He is growing so fast. People say babies grow like weeds, but in all honesty, he is just literally like every time we look at him, is like he's getting longer.
Well,
I think, right?
so we're doing, of course, lots of tummy time with baby Dash because he's very strong and we want him to be, he likes it too.
Yeah.
But we measured him the other day while he was hanging out on his tummy, and he is already 24.5 inches.
Oh, that was weeks. That
That
when
was
we
like a
left.
week ago.
No, that was when we left.
Was
To
it?
come here, yeah. That
Okay.
was
It was
Yeah.
a while ago, but when we Googled like the average size of a baby, they don't get to 24 inches until like 3 months. So he looks like he's so long and skinny.
he's gonna be taller than his mommy and daddy at this rate.
I
For
can't even
sure.
like
Yeah.
imagine that like
I know.
craziness.
So Brian, you're saying it's 73 in Calgary. Okay, so after this week, we're gonna be hitching up and we're at Calgary.
Well, thankfully,
Anything lower would be great.
Thankfully,
It's been
today is
hot.
supposed to be the last really hot day in Maine in the 90s. So
Yeah.
it's going to go into the 80s still, which is seasonably warm, but not nearly as bad. But that's a really good intro to next week. We have the second piece of our video coming out with the Stunzeed team out
Right.
of St. Petersburg, Florida. And if you haven't seen that video already, those are
That's
some
gonna
other
be a
really
really
cool
good one.
mods. But Sunday, we have a brand new design that is being featured on our Airstream. It looks different. We have gotten rid of the big Wander Local sign and toned it down a little bit with a new sleek, cool look.
Super sexy design.
And also, we added these amazing tints to our windows, which has made a huge difference. Because like I mentioned at the Airstream Rally, usually we're on a 50 amp hookup with our Airstream Classic,
Right.
but here we are on a 30 amp.
That's right.
Which
Which
means-
means you can only run one air conditioning unit. So the key with a tint is to keep the heat out.
Yeah.
And that's what it's doing a good job of. So if I mean, it's still pretty warm out, but if I hold my hand to the window, there's no heat radiating through the windows. And that helps to keep it cool, which has been, it's something that we didn't even know was available when we dropped off the Airstream to get some graphics done. But
Yeah.
the owner is an Airstreamer and he did it to his own Airstream. And of course, as soon as we saw it, we were like, John, like, can we get this done to our Airstream? And we want to film it.
no.
There.
What up?
So that'll be featured in next week's video.
What is it? Oh no. So
Yes.
we don't know what to do when you're on a live and a baby is crying. So we'll give you a 411. But so far he seems like he's gonna be cool. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe he'll decide to be hungry.
This is only our second live stream with a newborn. So it's, yeah, we're
It's
just
gonna
kind
be a
of,
thing.
we're shooting from the hip here.
Okay, so let's see. Brian asked, have we switched out our microwave for a dishwasher yet?
Yes.
No, we haven't. And I still really, really want to do that. But
Right.
just like everything else with Dash coming 2 weeks early, it was one of the things on our list that we hadn't gotten to yet. So
That's
we're
true.
still looking at that option, but haven't dug into it because basically as soon as baby Dash showed up, A, we were sleep deprived for a series of weeks. And then
Yeah.
B, we were on the road for 1,400 miles to get from Tampa to Maine, which was crazy.
It's crazy. So if you want to ask questions about driving 1,400 miles with a newborn, like ask away. We have definitely had to make some changes to our,
To wait the way we
Itinerary.
travel.
and the way we travel in
Yeah.
general. We learned a lot over the last 1,400 miles traveling with him. First of which is in Northeast, driving is a bear.
Well-
So if you guys have driven in the Northeast in general, it can be tough. But driving Northeast with a trailer on some of the highways, like,
You want to just talk
It's
to
been-
everybody? Yeah.
It's been tricky.
We took 95, which we talked to some of our good friends over at Love 7. If y'all do not follow their channel and you're Airstreamers, they are so awesome. We learned so much about our Airstream through their content. But we were talking to them last night and they were like, did y'all actually come up 95? And we were like, maybe. They're like, yeah, we have a strong rule never to do that. We're like, yeah, we officially have made that rule now. But it was crazy. It was like towing skill level 10.
Yeah, there were some. I know, Aaron, you're an ex-trucker, but there were some highways that I shouldn't have been on. Really, some potentially lower bridges. So because of that, we've got some new toys coming that are going to help us, and you probably already know what that is to help us, but. Another thing we learned about is that rest areas is not always a given in the Northeast. Sometimes you just hit highways near big cities. So when he has a moment where he needs to eat or he's just like done with the car ride,
which usually happens every 2 to 2.5 hours,
finding an exit can be really, really difficult because he's not willing to wait. So if you have a baby or if you have a grandchild, you know that babies can be impatient. Like they want what they want.
Like maybe right now.
And they usually want it like right away. Yeah. And as Jamie said, people don't know how to drive. We had so many people that would just merge and they would merge at like 20 miles an hour. And, you know, of course, if you've ever towed something heavy, you know, you can't stop quickly. So that adds another level of stress when you're driving on the highway, towing something. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
How Dash feels is basically how I felt towing to the Northeast. Yeah.
Okay,
there are moments where he was crying.
Yeah.
There are moments when he was crying. And there are moments when I felt like I needed to cry while towing with some low bridges and stuff. Another thing is that talking about where we're headed in the future here, we're headed to Chicago in October, and we're both going to be running the Chicago Marathon. So we have that coming up as well. If you haven't seen our New York City Marathon, that's videos online as well. Lauren ran the New York City Marathon when she was pregnant with Dash. We're going to do something similar this year. We're going to do something similar this year with the charity. We're teaming up with the American Cancer Society once again this year for a fundraiser. And that is something that is near and dear to my heart. Because if you're new to the channel, and there are a lot of you are new to the channel, I am a cancer survivor. So we are actively involved in the American Cancer Society. So that's a passion project of ours. If you are planning to head down towards Florida in January, we have quite a few things planned in January, one of which is the RV Super Show, which happens around mid-January. So we've got a lot planned for mid-January. We're teaming up with a bunch of other YouTubers in the RV space and travel space. So that's going to be super exciting. More details to follow on the RV Super Show in January. And it sounds like Baby Dash is calming down a little bit. Jamie's saying you have to get on 95 to get to Hilton Head, and is absolutely awful. It absolutely can be. I think the one thing that was difficult is we were trying to use apps, and it doesn't always tell you if it's a right or left exit quick enough. So sometimes you're just like trying to cut over a few lanes at the last minute, and that's a no-go. So if you have recommendations, listen, we're actually going to be trying the new Garmin RV soon. So if you have experience with the Garmin RV or really the Garmin driving technology in general, let us know. I mean, we're avid Garmin users personally, but we've never used the Garmin, what do you call it? GPS systems. Yeah. So that's something that we're going to give a try. We'll report back. If it sucks, you probably won't hear about it from us. We'll probably just tell you in the live stream that it sucked and we returned it. But if it's good, of course, we'll sort of incorporate it into one of our future videos. That is something that's very, very important to us. When you hear about us mentioning products, it's because we believe in it. There are so many products you don't hear us ever mention in any of our videos just because we tried them and they were horrendous.
Or campgrounds.
Yeah, or campgrounds. That, I mean, literally, we feel like it is our duty to only report on the good technology and campgrounds and things like that. So if you don't hear about it from us, it's because we just didn't enjoy it or we didn't think it was a good product. So Waze has been good so far. It just doesn't have the height requirements in there for us. And we want to make sure that we don't hit those low bridges. Garmin RV is great. Okay, so Glamp Dockers, you guys have a massive rig. You guys are literally towing with like a semi truck. So, and I know Aaron, you are an ex truck driver as well. Paul, you're saying wear body armor. Where are we going to wear body? I mean, I feel like we need to wear body armor a lot of places, but any place in particular? Wait. Yeah, there you go. So Aaron's saying that the trucker's GPS, allow you to plug in all your heights and weight. We've used the RV Life app, and we had all the information entered, and it worked well out west. But in the Northeast, not so much, honestly. It was taking us on expressways that are 2-axle only. Which of course, if you're towing, you have more than 2 axles. So not exactly great. Yeah. How's Dash doing?
He's on the struggle bus.
Is he on the struggle bus? For the next month or two after this rally, we're here in Maine. We're going to be visiting more of the Northeast. So if you have some recommendations in the Northeast, let us know. We're going to be hitting, gosh, what are some of the states we're hitting? I mean, I know
we're going to New Hampshire.
We're going to head to New Hampshire. Well, yeah, we're heading to New Hampshire.
Maine first.
We're taking a ferry to Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
Which is really cool. There's a family-owned campground in Martha's Vineyard, and we're going to be driving the Airstream onto a ferry and going to that campground. So there's a 54-foot maximum length on the ferry, if you've ever wondered. And with the 30-foot Airstream, technically 31, and the F-250, we're sitting at 53 feet, 53 and a half feet. So we're like right on the cusp of, I think, of what's sort of allowed on this ferry. Hopefully it's not a good indication of like what the campground's going to be like, but I mean, we shall see. So that's going to be exciting. We have that coming up. Will you be traveling to the Pacific Northwest anytime soon? That is our plan for the beginning of next year.
Well, not the beginning. That'd be very cold.
That's true.
I'm very scared.
That's true. Yeah, we don't do snow. I don't know if you've seen the obvious. I don't need to bring it up. The video that shall not be named,
the Texas
where
freeze.
we ran into some cold weather, but we're not very good with the cold weather. Although we would be 10 times more prepared this time, and that is mostly from all of the feedback that we've received, because now we've learned about how to better prepare for colder climates, and we have the gear and technology to sort of literally weather the storm. If we were to encounter some sort of snowstorm, we would be ready this time. You're saying, Jamie, you said enjoy your Sunday, did that ferry. That's cool. We'll have to look up that video as well. Journey 1111, love the video that shall not be named video. Exactly. And Paul, you're saying RV Life worked well for you. It definitely did work well for us everywhere else in the country except for the Northeast.
It just lost the GPS.
Yeah, it was losing GPS, and that was tough. That was really, attributed to our phones, and I don't necessarily know, but we're going to try some of the new technology from Garmin as well. They've got some newer, it's like the 890 and 1090, I think, that just came out. So we're going to give those a try, and we'll report back as well. But we definitely do want to go to the Northwest. There's so many places that are on our bucket list. We've never been to Montana, and that has definitely been on our bucket list. We've never been to Oregon. We've been to Washington, but we've never taken the RV there. So there's a lot of places that we would like to go. We've been to South Dakota by plane, but we've never been with the Airstream. So a lot of really cool places that are on our list for the Northwest that we're excited to tackle next year. Shannon, we love you too. She's chiming in from Facebook. And you're saying Vancouver hardly gets any snow. We've actually been to Vancouver, and it was beautiful, but we flew there.
And it was July.
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying, Michael, you're asking where are we going after the rally? What part of Maine? That's a good question.
We're headed to the coast. We're headed to Bar Harbor.
We're headed to Bar Harbor. So if you have some Bar Harbor tips, let us know, because we've never been, and we're super excited to go to Bar Harbor. Shannon, you're saying Whitefish, Montana is amazing. And Paul, you're saying Montana for the win. I mean, we're just literally so excited to check out Montana and the Northwest in general. Honestly, some of the traffic in some of these big cities here, it's a doozy.
Well, we got to go through Washington, D.C. and see some of the monuments while we were on the interstate, which was fun, but the traffic was horrible.
Yeah. Malia, you bring up a really good point. You're asking, will we have merch on sale this week? We will not, but that is because since we rebranded the entire Airstream, we're rebranding and relaunching an entire merchandise line, and
so
it is going to be amazing.
And not only that,
Yeah.
Mitchell is our very first official member, but we have launched
He found
YouTube
out. Yeah.
memberships. And this is the first time we've mentioned them. We're still working on the details of the, like Daniel was saying, the merch, but we are going to have members exclusive merchandise that you can only get if you're a member of our channel. So if you don't know anything about this is specifically a YouTube feature. If you go to the channel page, you go to youtube.com/wanderlocal, you can join and be a member of our like exclusive community to see behind the scenes footage. We're going to be doing exclusive member lives so that we can have like really nice intimate conversations.
We're going to do some exclusive member giveaways too. I mean, we partner with so many brands and they give us gear, and we always ask for the gear to give away as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be giving away some gear there. We'll be giving away some gear here as well that we're super excited about coming up soon. One in particular giveaway we're really excited about. It has a value of $2,000. So that's coming up pretty soon too. But I don't want to give away too much.
So we're really, really excited about that as we are expanding that further. We'll give you guys more details, but it is really fun because a lot of y'all have asked, how can we support your channel? And that's specifically one really super easy way. You can just join our super crew.
Yeah. That I'm so excited about that.
It's going to be really fun.
Shannon, you're saying Glacier Park is gorgeous. We'll have to add that to
so
our list.
High on my bucket list. That's the one that I've shown you pictures of with the colored rocks and the mountains in the background and the lake, and it's so freaking beautiful.
Okay, Cassie, you're saying Olympic National Park. That's in Utah, right? I think we if Olympic National Park is in Utah, we shot a video there.
I think that's just Olympic Park. That's not a national park.
You're right.
I don't know what Olympic National Park is. We'll
okay, maybe not. Yeah, maybe I'm getting it confused with where they held the Salt Lake City games.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Winter Games. Okay, that was also fun because I made you do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
Jamie, that is a very good question as well. Do y'all have a PO box? We're getting one as well. I think we're doing this like mega launch. It's Mitchell found out about the memberships before we could ever even talk about it. So we're like doing all this stuff behind the scenes, and we're getting ready to do all of these like launches. Starting of course with we like rewrapped this entire thing, and we did it. It's really, really cool. It pays homage. Cool. It was an idea Lauren and I had, and
Daniel gets the credit for this one.
It was a crazy idea, and we took it to the graphics team there at Stunseed in Florida.
St. Pete, yeah. In
St. Pete, and it was a crazy idea because there's so many curves, if you know, with these things. The curves are really the killer when it comes to design. And they took an idea and brought it to life, and it just looks really, really cool and classy as well. So I know some of you dig graphics, some of you don't, but this is it's gonna look really, really.
It's a good in between. I think when we first put graphics on our Airstream, we were like, oh, we just want to like make sure people know to follow us and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
And then after a year of staring at that big sign, we were like, okay, we want something a little more chill. And so this design is a little more sleek, pays some homage to a more vintage style Airstream.
Exactly.
So we love it. It's really fun.
That's exactly right. Heather's already seen it here because if you're at the rally, then if you go towards like the forest area in the back, that's where we're parked kind of. So come check it out in person. If you're here at the Airstream Rally, you get a little like sneak peek while you're here. Sandy, you already walked by as well. It's
we love it.
Really. It was a crazy idea we had, and we're so excited about it. The Wads are joining us here today.
Hi, Alex.
Our friends from Florida. We're going to, technically really even the Tampa St. Pete area. So we'll see you guys when we get back. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, because one of the things we're excited about, so we are headed back to Florida for the end of next year.
Yeah.
We are going to be spending 2 weeks in Key West at the beginning of December, which we've never RV'd there, and we've heard it is so much fun. We love Key West in general. Of course, we've been to Key West, but we haven't done it with the Airstream. So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to Orlando because you're doing the dumbest thing I think maybe you've ever done, which really says a lot. No offense.
Yeah. So I'm going to be running close to 50 miles. There's a crazy Disney race called the Disney Dopey Challenge. And every year they have a marathon weekend, and the marathon weekend people usually go and they do the 5K or they do the half marathon. They have different races. So the Dopey Challenge means you do them all like back to back. So I'm doing a 5K and then a 10K and then a half marathon and then a full marathon. So in total it's close to 50 miles. Training has been going amazing
No, it
with
hasn't.
Dash. It really, it's so that goal will be to survive that race.
Yeah.
But the thing I am most excited about, if you've watched some of our earlier videos, specifically the first 1 or 2 videos when we went to Disney, Fort Wilderness Park, where I had an assist in the very first backup of the Airstream. Okay, so I didn't back it up at all. I basically like gave the guy the keys to my truck and let him park our Airstream because I was that bad at backing it.
You were green. You were brand new. There's no such thing as being bad at it.
I was new.
You were new. Yeah.
And I was terrified. And I was terrified to hit the trees in Fort Wilderness.
Everybody has to go through that. And that's just part of this lifestyle.
When you guys, yeah, if you guys could see me now, I could back this thing up, zigzagging up a hill into the tightest spot ever now. But
actually, according to Daniel, we were helping a friend earlier today with their trailer, and he backed their trailer, and it was 5 feet shorter than ours. And he informed them that he could do it blindfolded. And I loved what our friend said. He said, "Can you try that with your trailer?" We're like, "Yeah, that's a lot more appropriate."
That's
But you have gotten really, really good at it. I mean, like when I assist you these days, it's like
we've got a plan.
Yeah.
Right. So Debbie and Randy chiming in from Facebook. Hello.
Oh,
and
hey guys.
And Mr. Null is chiming in here, our very first member. And if you look at his name, he's got like a really cool name that stands out. And there's going to be like custom icons.
Badge.
Exactly. So that's really cool.
That's part of our YouTube memberships that we were mentioning. That, like I said, you can go and check it out at youtube.com/WonderLocal. And where that subscribe button is, you'll see a button that says join. And that's how you get to join our crazy crew.
Yeah. And it is not on you. We're actually doing it a little bit earlier than we normally do because we've got Lauren wants to go to an event after this. And also, as you can kind of see,
he's asleep.
He's like milk drunk right now. So
well, the Airstream Rally has so many fun things. If you own an Airstream or even just like dream of owning an Airstream, we have friends who have actually come to the rallies who just want to own an Airstream and see what it's all about. And you can totally do that. You can get a day pass or whatnot. But they have so many fun things. And tonight they have a 70s dance party. So that's why Mr. Dash has on his Airstream outfit. Daniel and I did not prep appropriately for cool 70s outfits for ourselves.
We've been busy.
We've been a little bit busy.
If you see us in normal clothes at the 70s party, it's just because
we apologize.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
But we got to go and get Dash's dance on.
Exactly.
At the dance party.
But back to the Fort Wilderness thing, I think the thing I'm most excited about is that after my like failed attempt to back it up, I get to go back like 2 years later, and I just can't wait to like crush that back up. Because I
don't use that word. That's a horrible word to
not
use
crush.
About backing up.
That challenge. No,
That's scary.
You don't want to crush any RV when you're backing it up.
No.
Malia, did we get Dash an Airstream badge? Not only did we get him an Airstream badge, bam, he's got a first timer badge. Look at that. Dash Fernandez, first timer. Is officially, I think, the youngest. There are a few babies here this year, which is really exciting. There's a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old and a few other youngins here as well. So
yeah, there are a lot more families here this year, which is so fun. We love. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them a little bit about what we've learned about traveling with a newborn now that we've traveled 1,400 miles in like 2 weeks?
Yeah. So
Mr. Dash.
You know, because babies need to eat as often as they do, you have to stop more frequently. And we typically try to cap our drives at around 4 hours, and that's GPS time. And that can take a little bit more depending on, traffic or
like when it was just you and me.
It's just you and I. Right. Yeah. So we built our travel schedule to get here from Florida all the way to Maine, 1,400 miles. On that assumption that we could just drive in 4-hour increments and Dash would be okay. We'd stop occasionally. 4 hours was our first leg or second leg.
Well, so we had planned to make this trip. First, we went to Clemson, South Carolina, because my family is all from there, and my grandparents are, in their 80s and 90s, and we wanted them to meet Dash as soon as they could. So we went and spent a week with them, which was
great.
Amazing. But because we spent a week with them, we were pushing it a little bit with our travel schedule. So we had set it up that we would have approximately 4-hour travel days, GPS time. And we would travel Monday, Wednesday, Friday. How'd that go?
4 hours the first travel day with Baby Dash turned into 7.
It was horrible.
It was a long day, and
he did good. It
he did great.
So much that he didn't do well.
He just needed breaks, which is okay,
Except when we're in big cities and there's nowhere to get off.
Exactly. Yeah. So that because of that. We took our 2-night stays and we turned them into 1-night stays. And literally the last week we spent every night we're at a different campground. State. So I was kind of like partially breaking down and setting up like every day. And if that's
a little exhausting.
Yeah. And somebody just said GPS time for Facebook or RV time. So typically we'll GPS time 4 hours, but RV time of course can be longer.
It always adds at least an hour.
Yeah, so in a 4-hour GPS time, we typically estimate that it'll take approximately 5 hours because you're going to stop at a rest area and maybe even snack and things like that. But we never anticipated it would take 7 hours. We just had to take far more stops.
Well, and the traffic was just horrific on 95.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's
so
true.
bad.
We've got John joining us. What's up, John? And we've got both Johns, right? Yeah. Nice.
Malia asked Lauren, am I riding in the back seat of the truck with Dash? Absolutely. He does so good as long as I'm sitting in the back. And then if I get out of the truck, or the truck is stopped, he's not a super huge fan of the truck not moving forward.
That's true.
Which is appropriate as his name is Dash. He does not like red lights.
He wants to be dashing like all the time, just always on the move. He does not like to sit still. So
and he doesn't really like for me to be out of eyesight from the truck.
Yeah.
Poor Daniel.
So those of you that remember the show called Dinosaurs with the baby, I think I might have said this in the last one. There's basically mama and there's not the mama. So like, if you remember the baby from Dinosaurs, that whenever like dad came around, he would like go, not the mama. And he would just like throw his food at dad. Like occasionally he just wants mom and there's no fix for that, but mom. So I always tell Lauren, I'm like, I think it's not the mama time. Yeah. And that's when like Lauren has to jump in and help out.
It's really wonderful to be this loved.
There's mama and literally everybody else. It doesn't matter who it is, well, except for your mother, but literally everybody else is not the mama.
He loves his Gigi.
He does love his grandparents. Yeah. So
okay, so let's see. A Facebook user asked, how is the sleep schedule? So that is one thing that I will say I feel like we have been so blessed for. If you've seen our video where we show how we set up the nursery, we got this really cool little bed called the Snoo. And it basically mimics the womb. So it's, of course you can only use it like any other bassinet for typically about like the 6-month period. But we really attribute the fact that he's been sleeping so well.
He's been doing great.
To the Snoo, because for the first couple of weeks, he would wake me up, say every 3 to 4 hours a night and eat and then go back down. So the first couple of weeks were obviously harder, but then when he hit his birth weight, the doctor told us just let him sleep as long as he wants to. And it's perfectly fine because he's gaining weight appropriately. And so since then he started sleeping 5 hours a night, 6 hours a night. Now it's pretty typical that he'll sleep from 9:00 p.m. to for 6 or 7 hours, and then he'll go back down for another 2 or 3. So Daniel and I have been pretty well rested. I told my mom the other day, it was my birthday is July 20th. So I've just had my birthday. I'm really excited. I'm 34. But I told my mom on my birthday, Dash woke me up after sleeping 7.5 hours. And I was like, and he wanted to go back to bed. And I was like, we've reached a milestone. I actually don't want to go back to bed with Dash. I went and got my run in while he slept. It was amazing. So I feel like that's a pretty good indication that for the most part, we're pretty well rested. Yeah.
Is a really good question here. Any Dash planned to tattoos? I mean, I obviously do have tattoos.
Not me. No.
I that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, when I do tattoos, they're typically abstract with meaning. So it's not necessarily just so you never know. You never know. I do.
That's a good question. I wouldn't have known the answer to that.
I
for
know.
you.
I know. I do have an appointment later in the year to get a tattoo, so we'll see. We'll see. But Dash, maybe like right here, like it'll just say like Dad right here, like in his arm. What do you think about that?
Hard
like,
no.
Dad.
I think
Dad.
that's gonna be a hard.
I love
no.
Dad instead of I love Mom. No.
Welcome, Sherry. Thanks for coming to hang out with us tonight.
That's a good question though. You got me thinking about that one. That was a really good question.
Journey 1111 asks, is the organizing still going well? Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things people told us with having a baby is they were like, say goodbye to the clean Airstream. I mean, I think that even when we had like our work shower, they surprised us with a shower for work, which was so sweet.
Yeah.
One of the things they did is they all wrote down like things that we needed to be like getting used to not having anymore. Like coffee and tea was one of the things, which Daniel has now taken over making my matcha tea, but he makes
both
coffee every morning.
I make a good matcha tea.
It's actually better than mine, which is really amazing. And I
don't
love
want to
it.
say it.
Yeah, no, it totally is. I love it. And then they said, say goodbye
awesome.
to a clean Airstream because they know how OCD we are about living in like a clean, tiny space. And our organization system has totally made it possible for it to still stay organized. I mean, granted, it gets like anywhere we have to pick up and put things back where they're supposed to go. We're not perfect about, take something out, put it back up immediately kind of thing.
Yeah.
But typically it takes us like maybe 10 or 15 minutes to pick up around here and it's perfectly clean again. So
I mean,
shout
honestly,
out to Cece and Lily's organizing. If you're new to our channel and you have not seen those videos, if you've seen like the nursery video, you probably know that it looks like we are crazy OCD when it comes to organization. But that is actually a newly learned skill for us that we learned about a year and a half ago when we met Cece from Lily's Organizing, who came in, gutted our Airstream for us, made us like really look at all the junk that we had.
That was such an amazing video.
And taught us how to live a more organized life. And it saves us money and groceries every month. It saves us time and like pickup and things having a spot. Because when you're living tiny living, it is so critical that you're organized, or else you'll drive yourself crazy.
Has a place. I think that's probably what is it's the most impactful thing. If you haven't seen the video on organizing, that is not just in organizing your RV. That's really organizing your life because of the way and the philosophy she has with organizing.
It's pretty epic.
It's been, the folding techniques literally just go back and watch the organizing video. Even if you're in a house, it is still valuable content there.
Yeah, because Cece, we met her in California. Her and her husband, they're Airstream owners as well, and they're actually now traveling full time. But she typically isn't just organizing RVs, although she does that now some too. She really focuses on doing organization for big homes, usually. Like
that's what she mostly does.
Yeah,
RVs are kind of like she does them occasionally, but really it's mostly houses, garages.
Right.
Really, the most unorganized spot in a house
Pantries.
is where she starts, and then it literally the before and afters are
epic.
I think we're gonna rave about what she does forever, just because it's been so impactful for us. I think personally.
Absolutely. Well, it saves us so much time.
Yeah, that has been huge. So like Jamie, like you mentioned, organizing the house, same thing. It's just so impactful. Just knowing where everything is and if it has a place, it just makes things easier to find, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Somebody's saying watch out for aggression. He'll go from sleeping to not sleeping. Oh, fingers crossed. Because right now he's doing so well. We've also heard that that sometimes your first baby is like an angel baby, and then like the next time around, it's not. It's like it's just.
We've heard that your first one will be an angel, like Dash is, just so that you think that you want like 12, and then you'll have the second one, and it'll like cure you of that thought process.
Yeah. Jill is saying his tattoo, baby Dash's tattoo, can say "I love Jill." That would be amazing. We love you, Jill. That's really funny. You're also saying the shirts look nice in red. Here's a question for you, because we're still in the process of choosing colors. Comment below. What are some of your favorite colors for shirts? So if you have a favorite color for shirts,
that you would like to see,
that you would like to see, that because sometimes people like pick colors and they just assume that everybody loves that color, and that's we're designing these shirts so that they can be worn by everybody and everybody loves them. So like, what are your favorite colors? Add that below.
We have an off-topic question, but Pappy has the one for you, D.
Yeah. So you're saying what type of drone do we have? We have a Mavic 2 Zoom, and there's the Zoom and there's the Pro. The Zoom obviously has the Zoom capabilities. It has been absolutely great. They have the new Mavic 3, but that is honestly, if I'm being honest, it's a little pricey for what I can swing right now. So the Mavic 2 Zoom has been absolutely great.
And what he means by that is what I will let him spend on. Y'all should see how much camera equipment this man owns that he does not use. So
listen,
when you use it,
clearly Pappy appreciates some good cinematography here. So yeah,
totally
all these like
fair.
really cool, crazy shots come from some of those, the technology. The drone, I love the drone. It's so much fun to fly.
You need to use it more for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dakota asks, what's my favorite place to get baby clothes? So I am obsessed with a company called Lulu. My little sister actually introduced me to them, and we don't have any kind of affiliation with them at all. But they have like great quality organic clothes. I like to wait until they're having like a big sale and then like buy whatever the next sizes are up. So that part has really worked out well for us. But I'm always looking for like organic and all that good jazz to make sure poor little Dash's skin is taken care of. So that's a thing.
I love that you guys are telling me your colors. I'm literally like writing
them down. I love it.
Yeah, that's really, really good. So we'll make sure that we have all of these colors. Yeah, everybody has a color they really enjoy wearing. So that's really, really cool. Okay, so yeah, Paul, you're saying you just bought the DJI Ronin RSC2 gimbal. That thing is also so awesome.
I feel like y'all could have a nerd talk live about all of the equipment. We had somebody reach out the other day and say that we needed to do a video about our equipment. So one of the things that is on our list to do for next quarter is to start launching 2 videos a week, and we want to do videos like on a Wednesday or like a midweek video that touches more on like the tech stuff and like what our favorite RV products are, and like more less of our adventures and more like informational stuff now that we actually know a little bit about this lifestyle, because there's so much that we feel like we can share. So stay tuned for more of that coming soon, which will be super fun. But then also I saw a question that we just missed. Miss Amber Lynn Snow. Hello, lady. How are you? She asked, do we plan on having more children? So yes. So we want to have another one pretty quickly. So Daniel and his brother are like 8 years apart. And then me and my sisters are like a little over a year apart each, like maybe 18 months. Yeah. And so we want them to get to be really close. And so because of that, our goal is to have one in relatively quickly. We know that our Airstream may not fit 2 children, but we're playing it by ear.
Oh, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. I think there's plenty. We'll see. We're open-minded, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we can definitely. I'm loving all of the colors you guys are recommending. That is absolutely awesome. That's really, really helpful. How many? Gosh. Okay, so this is a really good question right here, Federico. How many miles do we have on our Airstream, and how has it held up so far? So this is a really, really good question, because the truck has a separate setting for whenever you put it in tow mode, it tracks that mileage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the truck overall over the last 2 years, we've hit, because we're about to hit the 2-year mark, we've traveled close to 45,000 miles in 2 years, and we have towed 39,000 of those we've towed. So we've literally towed 39,000. I know some of you on here, I know Glamp Doctors for sure, you smashed that, but 39,000, and I literally don't even know how many states we've hit. We've hit a lot. We have to tally it up after this trip, but it's been a lot. And we've learned a lot. And I think somebody mentioned a little bit earlier, like setting up and breaking down. It's not as bad now. Once you do it 150 times, it gets a lot easier. You kind of get into a groove, and you have your own like mental checklist, and you can kind of fly through it.
Oh, Paul asked, where's that setting on the F-250?
When you put it in tow mode, there is a I'm gonna have to get back to you, Paul. That's a good question. I was looking through the settings in tow mode the other day, and it said tow mileage, because you're obviously going to flip it to tow mode whenever you're towing, and it has like the total tow mileage. And it also tells you, is a really good statistic as well on the F-250s. If you flip it to tow mode, you can actually see the mileage you're getting while towing, which is
like the gas
completely
mileage.
yeah. So you can see your towing mileage, which is not the same as your mileage when you're not towing as well.
When Frederico, on the flip side of your question, you asked, how's our Airstream holding up so far? So we are a 2020 Airstream Classic. It was brand new when we purchased it. And overall, it has held up really, really well. We've had little things here and there. Obviously, every kind of RV needs regular maintenance. And paying attention to that is probably not our strong suit. We're learning thanks to people in our lives like Phil, who you guys got to chat with a little bit earlier. But the things that have broken for us have mostly been user error. If you go back we have a playlist on our YouTube page that says from the start, one of those first videos is when we actually broke our awning. And that was 100% user error. We left it out. A rogue storm came, like it looked like a tornado hit it. It was awful. The whole thing had to be removed and replaced. So that's the biggest thing that's happened from a damage perspective. But again, user error.
Little things, little things.
We've had a couple rivets pop out now, which of course we've just replaced.
When you have hundreds of rivets, the rivets are going to pop out for sure. The light went out in the fridge. Sometimes the burner gives us some trouble. We've got a 3-burner stove. It drives Lauren crazy, one of the burners. We tore one of these like corner windows, like the shade. I think one of us just that was user error as well, because we kind of like dug our fingers into it, and it's not really meant for that. A lot of comments on fuel cost. You know what the crazy thing is about fuel costs? I will just say this because
this is the topic.
Yeah, I don't want to like stay on this too heavy, but like literally, here's what I don't get. The same town, we literally paid $6.66 a gallon. Keep in mind it's diesel, so it's not the same. In one gas station, and we went back to the campground and we passed another gas station that I didn't see on the way out, and it was $5.20. So you have $5.20 to $6.66, literally 2 miles apart.
And there again,
same town,
another user error. There are tons of great apps where you can find like where the best gas price is. But we just pulled into one because we were, in kind of a hurry and didn't think to look about it or whatnot. And Daniel had a mild meltdown when he saw that.
Matt on here, my childhood friend. I've got Christina on here, my childhood friend as well. Guys. Christina, your mom is on here, so tell her I said hi. Give her a big hug for me.
Oh, I saw a good one. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dakota asks, were we surprised you had a boy, or did you have a feeling he was a boy?
That's a great question, right?
So one of the things about my family and Daniel's family is they all have big babies. I mean, like 9-10 pounders. They look like the little Michelin Man. Like they all have big babies.
Yeah.
And so when they told us in our ultrasound that Dash was like in like the 40-something percentile of weight of like your average baby, we were like, well, it can't be a boy. There's no way it's a boy small, because he's way too small. And for those of you guys who haven't been following our journey, we waited to find out what Dash was until the day of his birthday. So when he came out, Daniel and I were both like
shocked. I mean, literally.
Oh, I mean, I even had purchased a pink flower headband and some like girl outfits. We really thought he was a girl.
Yeah, some people thought we knew the gender in advance, and literally we didn't. We had no indication whatsoever. So
nope, we had little name badges made for like our boy name and our girl name, but we were like both on the we think it's a girl train. So when he came out and he wasn't a girl, we were like, oh my gosh. It's really funny.
Yeah, he's been an absolute angel. But a lot of you, so we asked a lot of you to guess whether it was a boy or girl, and I will say that half of you are right.
Yep.
Jill, you're chiming in saying you knew it was a boy. Whatever logic you used, we heard so many like so many
You
theories.
were right.
At least half of you were right.
Mhm.
So that is congratulations to those of you that guessed.
I will say that, like, a lot of people who got to see me in person, I
Yeah.
learned very quickly that when people wanted to find out if they thought that I was having a boy or a girl, that I could do like a quick little 360 turn, and they would make up their mind. And a majority of people, when I did that, would say that they thought I was having a boy. But I mean, like, Daniel and I were just so on the we expected to be a girl train. It was crazy. But we're so excited that Dash is Dash because he's wonderful.
This is literally the best. This is the most accurate comment. I know it was
a baby. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
real.
that spot on.
Okay, Jamie has a good question right above that one. So, do you think you'll get a bigger RV anytime soon?
We are open-minded people, and that's how we approach life in general. You just never know. The reason we go to a lot of RV shows.
I think we're also very spontaneous.
We're very spontaneous. You just never, I will just leave it at that. You just never know. You never know. Like, some of you can see us. I know somebody commented earlier about Newell or Prevo, right? I think I got that pronounced correctly now.
Maybe.
But still, yeah, you just absolutely never know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask one last question because I know I've got a lot of you on here that have been following for a long time here. I've got all the colors. If the shirt could say anything on it, I mean, again,
Oh, what a great question.
if the shirt could say anything on it, what would you want it to say? Like, literally.
We've had people tell us before that they want a "We Survived a Texas Freeze" shirt.
Yeah,
we definitely want to know what you think about that. Okay, so while you guys are answering that, Mark asked the question: are we still happy with our tow vehicle?
Man, I literally
You can see it behind us a little bit.
Yeah, you can kind of see it behind us. Zero regrets with going with the Ford F-250. Like, no regrets whatsoever. Going up and down mountains, even though we're towing 10,000, is literally, it's been easy. Yeah, it's been absolutely easy. We've had no issues with it whatsoever. We get our regular oil changes. I make sure that I take care of like the fuel filters, because you've got a diesel engine. There's 2 fuel filters in there. The air filters. I mean, it's literally been a dream. So if you don't hear me complaining about the tow vehicle, it's because I haven't had absolutely any issues with it, and we've towed 45,000 miles, zero issues. So I don't have a Dodge or a Ram or a Chevy, so I can't compare to those. But from our perspective,
this is our first truck. But it's been great for us.
Exactly.
Okay, we have some great. Okay, so Mitchell, there's 100% going to be it's good for the soul shirt. I agree. I want one of those personally, but I'm loving all of the Dash shirts. That's
you guys.
One of the things we have learned so far at the Airstream Rally. We've only been here 48 hours. And we have found out that we are officially irrelevant. Dash he's
a star. Yeah. No.
Everyone's favorite human, which is so much fun. He's the youngest one here. But everybody, like, we kind of stand out because we have a stroller. And so people will be like, "Is that Dash?" We're like, "Yeah." So we've heard that apparently it's going to be like the next 18 plus years that everything in our lives will pretty much revolve around him being the coolest of the 3 of us, but we kind of agree. So
yeah, I think the most terrifying, I'm just, we're always so honest on here. The most terrifying thing is we all know that when we were younger, we potentially did some crazy things. We tended to do crazy things even in our adulthood. And I think it's going to be very hard to tell Dash not to do things or not. Get off the couch, son. Don't jump off the couch. You might injure yourself. But meanwhile, like, we have videos of like mom and dad jumping off of buildings, So I don't know how we're gonna explain that over the years, but
that's a good question. We'll see how it goes. Okay, Keith has an off-topic question, but it's so relevant because next week we're going to have our follow-up video with the Stun Z team, and we talked about the ceramic coating. And you asked, have we done this yet, and is it worth it? So this is like kind of a multi-stage question. So we actually did go with the ceramic coating from the dealership when we purchased our Airstream. That being said, do we think it was worth it? Yes. Do I think that it could have been done to a higher quality now that we've talked with John and his team over at Stunseed? Absolutely. The one thing that I wish we would have done, and I think you said this best on that video, you compared it to like if you are going to go see a specialist for like something health related. Like you don't just go to a generalist for, you know, a brain issue. You go to a neurosurgeon. And
it's really how I felt about it
when
too.
we talked to John and he showed us like the different products associated with ceramic coating and how there's specific ceramic coating products that go or that are specific for the type of material that they're coating. Like we didn't get that level of quality from the dealership because the dealership, I mean, their expertise is Airstreams, right? Not ceramic coatings. So
I think the mind-blowing thing is that because John had so many varieties of ceramic, he knew which coatings to apply to which surfaces.
Yeah.
The fact that he used marine, ceramic that's specific to marine, like boats application. And he used that for like the toilets and the sinks and things like that. And that's not like your typical ceramic. It was like a specific blend for
that type of material.
Yeah.
And like when you looked at his toilet, I mean, he lived in his Airstream for over 4 months and they use it to camp on a regular basis. His toilet looks perfect.
It really does.
Ours does not. And that is not just because of all of the jokes that we can make around that. When we were in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we stayed at a campground that had, was it rust?
It was
iron.
Yeah, just huge iron deposits in the
water.
It absolutely destroyed the filter, and it got through the filter and just stained
part of our toilet, like where the water comes out. And we have tried freaking everything. If y'all know of some way to get this off, we're gonna be taking our Airstream back to John when we get back in December, because one of the things his team can do is actually help to restore the surfaces and then reapply that ceramic coating. And so we're going to be doing that when we go back in December. But hopefully he can do that, because like even he said like our kitchen sink, I wish that we had, because we had the ceramic coating done on the inside and the outside. But it's just the quality, his versus ours was just night
that
and day.
Video, you really got to watch that video because it's really so enlightening. And even for your cars, really, when you think about it, because like the rock guards, for instance, we have these things that block rocks from damaging the main body of the Airstream, and they're there to take impact. He had a thick application of, it's almost like a clear bra material, but it was so thick and you really couldn't even tell it was there, but it literally just deflects sort of the rocks, not deflects it. It doesn't give them anything to grip to, I guess, when it's impacted. So literally like his looked absolutely flawless.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
I would have done that 100%. I would have done ceramic in the. I know you said we had ceramic done in the interior, but I don't believe it. I think they told us they did it. I don't know. I'm not saying
we love our dealership. I'm
sure
no,
for sure. But quality. The ceramic was absolutely.
Oh, look! Hold on. Sorry, Eric. What? I promise we'll come back to this. But Paul, you just joined as our YouTube member. You are so awesome, dude. Thank you. We are really excited about that. It's so fun.
Mr. No, love it. Paul, our first 2 members. We're gonna have to do something special for you guys.
Okay,
literally.
One more thing on the ceramic thing. Oh no, hold on. This one's he says he's phenomenal. How expensive is service? So that was the craziest thing. Like, so the ceramic coating stuff starts at $1,200, and we paid a little bit more from the dealership.
But we did a bunch of stuff though, so it's
no. When we paid for our ceramic coating,
with the dealership, we paid
almost the exact same to get it done.
We paid way more. I think it was like $1,600 at the dealership.
16, yeah. So I mean, it was in the same range. So he is definitely not. He's in the ballpark of what you're going to expect. Pay the dealership. But the quality is just freaking amazing.
He's also OCD, which I actually like.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
I mean, if you saw us touring his Airstream, he's like super OCD. So I think that like, I appreciate
one really cool thing, just so that you guys know, in case anybody is in the market for an Airstream, John is actually selling his Airstream.
I know we weren't supposed to talk about that until next week.
We're not.
But we're going to, but that's okay. Yeah, he's making some changes. So that that particular this is kind of like
that's the inside scoop.
Inside scoop. That particular Airstream is going to be in the market. That has the hatch, the full hatch, beautiful. And he has done everything to it. It's been meticulously cared for. That one is going to be hitting the market, I think,
pretty
Yeah,
soon.
he just so it's a
Okay, so it
Yeah,
is
but
right
there's-
at 8:00, but I
Yeah.
put Eric's question on the and Eric, you've got to check out the comments. There's some really good ones here. You asked for a couple that wants a full-time RV but never owned an RV before. Dude, we feel you. That was us. When we started RVing a year and a half ago, we had never stayed the night in an RV before we got in our Airstream. Tips. I think Paul is one who said research. Absolutely. I would also suggest that if you want to find out what not to do, feel free to go on our channel and
really
watch
such a good one.
all of the mistakes we made, because that way we can make them for you and you don't have to make them. It's pretty awesome. But what would you say if you had to just pick like one or two tips?
This is literally a take your time. I mean, that is
Yeah.
literally probably one of the most important tips ever. We were just talking about this in one of the campgrounds we were just at, because somebody was newer and backing up. Literally, if you see somebody that you know is newer, give them time. Tell them you're not in a rush. You always feel that pressure when you're backing up and somebody's waiting on you. You feel the pressure a lot when you're new. You just have to let it go, and you have to do you, and stick to checklists. Stick to whether they're mental checklists or you have written checklists.
Written checklists are ideal.
Departure checklist, setup checklist. Like, start with those. You can Love 7 has a really good checklist online. So those are some really good places to get checklists. But literally, like, stick to the plan. Stick to your budget. Like I said, budget can be as low or as high as you want it to be. Literally, we know people that camp, really, really inexpensively, and we know people that just go like all out and spend a lot. So, that is, absolutely.
All right. Well, Dash,
Yeah.
if you can't tell, he has woken up and therefore he believes it is feeding time. So we do not want to delay that. But we want to just thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. It's been such a pleasure. And stay tuned, because we've got some really fun, exciting videos coming out.
Some fun stuff coming out. Yeah. Yeah.
And like I mentioned before, we are on Facebook and on Instagram. So if you want to see behind the scenes content of Mr. Dash, because he's stupid and horrible and I kind of can't help but post stuff about it, make sure to follow us there, because you're going to get a lot of really fun, super cute content. And we'll see you guys very, very soon.
And say goodbye, Dash. Bye, everybody.
All right. Y'all know the drill. If you haven't already, make sure you wander with local this week, because as you know, it's good for the soul. Night, guys.